Happy Wednesday, Georgian Bay! Welcome to this week's episode of The Scoop, your backstage pass to the people, stories, and conversations shaping our community. I'm Katerina, Kova, and I'm so excited to be back with my fabulous co-hosts, Janene and Nadia. Ladies, I missed you!
Yeah, we missed you too.
I know you missed us. We missed you too.
They didn't miss me. They didn't miss me.
Well, guys, we've got an inspiring lineup today, starting with someone who's making waves in the business consulting world.
But before we dive into that, I have a two-part question for you ladies.
Yeah.
Have you ever been given a piece of advice, something that you remember? And if so, did you follow it?
What do you think?
I have been given such advice. Family members, my dad's great aunt, decades ago, I was battling with baking because, I was, whatever. And I remember her specifically saying to me, don't worry about the outcome, just do it. Basically, that was it. And I think that transfers to just about anything in life. A lot of us are creatives and maybe sometimes we would second guess whether or not we should actually do that. But just do it. If you want to do it. Naturally, it may take some effort and some thought behind it because, in this business, you have to really make the conscious decision and effort to really do it.
Yeah.
There's no dilly-dallying. So either you're all in or you're not.
So it's not just a Nike slogan. It's also Janene's mantra.
Hello. Honestly,
But that applies to everything.
It
so
does.
literally every aspect of your life, if you want to go after something, you absolutely should.
You should.
And whether or not you fail, like failure is a part to success until you
100%.
realize what works. So I live by that too, actually. It's just, if I want it, even if you're scared, I like to throw myself in. Especially when I'm scared, I actually like that.
It's like feel the fear and do
feel
it
the fear.
anyway, just like that book,
That's
right?
another one too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I got some really good advice from one of my closest friends' grandmothers. At our university convocation, everybody came to visit us in New Brunswick, and it was a big celebration. And I remember, for whatever reason, I guess it was around inspiration, or what advice would you give, especially for the older generation that had lived for so long? And she said, Katerina, regardless of what you do in life, just keep your heart clean. Just keep it clean and everything will be okay. And she was just the sweetest woman. And I've really taken that in and applied to everything in my life. So lead with kindness, with compassion, make sure that there's no hatred or anything. And if you've been in a fight with somebody, make sure to make up as quickly as possible. Put aside your pride and ego. It doesn't matter. What matters is that there's harmony between everybody. That means that there's peace. And so I proceed with that in all aspects of my life. Yeah. Really great advice.
Yeah. I love that both
I
of you
love it.
have
Yeah,
these sort of very randomly detached people that have directly impacted sort of the way you walk your life. It's very cool.
And what about you, Missy?
Two pieces of advice I received from the very same teacher when I was in college. So I went to musical theater school. And the first piece of advice that she said was, if there is anything else you can do in this industry or in life in general, do it. And so she looked around at all of us. She's like, this is hard. Being creative, being artistic is hard. If there's anything else in the world that you could do that isn't this, please go do it. And I looked at her and I was like, not a chance. There wasn't there was, so it was advice. It was great advice. And it made me really think about what I wanted. And I was like, nope, this is what I have to do. I've weighed the other options and they weren't options. But then the two-parter of that, when we're all still sitting there at the end, nobody got up and left, and she was like, if there's anything else you can do, leave, Wow. She was like, you are the CEO of your own company. CEO of my own, I'm the CEO of my own life. And I was like, wow. And so I've taken that with me basically for anything. If I want to do something, just do it. If I want to do something that feels good for my heart, you just do it. And you don't have to ask permission for anybody but yourself, because you are the CEO of your own company.
We're here for the suffering. We're here for the suffering.
Well, whether you followed career advice or not, our first guest is a professional when it comes to empowering entrepreneurs and creating impactful marketing campaigns for nonprofit organizations.
Zariah Walker is the founder and president of Avesbury Consulting. Since 2020, she's offered a range of services from business development and marketing strategies to mentorship and project management.
Zariah, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, ladies.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
let's start with your story. What inspired you to start Avesbury Consulting?
So I went to what's now called Toronto Metropolitan University, and I studied law, business, and human resources. And I graduated in the height of the pandemic. The original plan was to go to law school, but I didn't see the point in spending thousands of dollars to do law school behind a screen. So I pivoted. I launched Avesbury Consulting during the first wave of the pandemic to help business owners adapt to sudden restriction changes. And at the time, I focused more on helping them transition to online to stay afloat. For example, if there was a hair salon and they had a lot of inventory and like products that they could sell, I would develop an e-commerce store for them, help them get online and offer some online virtual workshops on how to dye your hair, how to cut your hair at home, things like that. And what began as a digital transformation service has now turned into a full service consulting firm.
Wow. So you took the pandemic and basically, what is the phrase? Turn lemons into lemonade? I was going to say apples into oranges. That's not how it and so you started with helping people launch their online companies during a time when they weren't able to do in person. But what services do you offer now?
So we offer business development, project management, digital marketing, so things like social media management, digital ads, marketing campaigns, both online and experiential marketing campaigns, mentorship, and more. Whatever there is out there, we do it.
Wow. People that you've worked with, are you allowed to talk about any success stories?
Yeah.
People you've helped sort of go from that like beginning to seeing the finish line?
Yes. So one project that I'm always super excited to talk about is I have a longtime client that is actually the host of Salsa on St. Clair in Toronto. And they have been the host for the past 20 years. This is the 21st year. However, when people come to the festival, they have no idea that my client is the host behind the event. So last year, I launched a marketing initiative that was an experiential marketing project where we engaged over 2,000 people directly, and it focused on driving the brand awareness. So this particular client represents 100 businesses along St. Clair West. Wow. So I help them market each and every one of those businesses on their platforms. So what this project focused on was driving some traffic and impact about those businesses. And the project was so successful that it actually won an award from the City of Toronto for driving community impact and innovation.
Wow.
Congrats.
Thank you.
It's definitely something to be proud of.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's no secret for any of us who are entrepreneurs that it can be challenging and it can come with its challenges. Do you have any fun stories that you can share with us?
Well, what I will say about that is as a solo entrepreneur, I wear all the hats. I do the bookkeeping, the marketing, the project, client acquisition, everything. And it is a very stressful and lonely process. Keeping that in mind with the other entrepreneurs that I work with, what I try to do and what my business really focuses on is working with my clients as a teammate. So I am with you 100% every step of the way. I'm with you to celebrate your wins, there to comfort you in your losses, and I'm always just a phone call away when things get tough.
Right. Are you a sole entity? It's just you, yourself, and you?
Yeah, me, myself, my coffee, and my computer.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, that's incredible. That's a lot of hats to wear. I mean, that's inspirational, though. I mean, for anybody who's looking to start maybe their own company or even just has that idea to launch the next step in their business, what kind of advice would you have for people?
Launching a business comes with a lot of risk, comes with a lot of nervousness and anticipation. I say if you have an idea that's been tugging at you, a vision that you're just not sure how to get it off the ground, just take the step and do it. There's
Just do it.
Just do it.
This is our theme.
Yeah, I know it's a difficult process, but again, I try to serve as a resource. So what my business tries to do is take you from ideation all the way to expansion. So I work with a lot of people that just come to me with an idea, just a little inkling in their head that they just want to figure out how to lay the groundwork for. And I just say, like everything, just take the risk because you could have so much freedom, happiness, and rewards when you do so.
Absolutely. You never know until you try.
Exactly.
Absolutely. It's true.
And it's definitely helpful to have you in their corner because a lot of people, maybe us included in certain aspects, like it's hard to get everything in. And that's why I think it's remarkable that you do it all, because that's just so much. There's so many elements that are new or foreign, or just you have no idea how to do it. So it's
And I mean, I think all of us need, legal advice at some
Yes,
point along
yeah.
the way, or, just any of those sort of the contract-based stuff that
Yes.
you're like, but I'm a creative. I don't need to worry about that. And then, you do.
You always do.
You certainly do. Zariah, thank you so much for sharing your insights and experiences with us. Your dedication to empowering entrepreneurs is, girl, ever so inspiring. Thank you.
Coming up next, our very own Katerina is switching seats from host to guest as she shares her journey as a contemporary fine artist and her mission to raise awareness for endangered species through her work. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. So what's the Scoop Georgian Bay? You tell us.
If you've got an event, story, or local business we should know about, pop us off an email or drop us a comment below. We'd love to feature you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.